Excited to have Nasa with us in the studios. Good morning, Nasa.
Good morning.
Fresh from the gym, very, very refreshed. Kick off, still start the week. You know, I see the six-pack arriving very soon.
Yeah, people with abs are not happy.
They're not happy.
Nope.
Before we get into today's conversation, Nasa, you know, normally I just want to pick on your mind. We have a problem as the boy child normally suffers so many things. And one of the things boys suffer is by just being nice. Just 1 ounce of trying to be nice to the other gender, the other gender starts to read in between the lines that you are interested, and they will judge you, saying that you're messing up with my mind. You show that you are interested in me, and then all of a sudden you are nowhere to be.
Who disturbed you over the weekend, my brother? What's going on? Who was reading between the lines over the weekend for you? Why are you bitter like this?
I think part of the reason why I'm here on Monday after suffering is so that I can create some self-awareness, because I keep saying these things all the time. Self-awareness. People don't know what this is. Self-awareness is actually something very difficult. Some people either live in their mind or they live somewhere else, but not in the now. And it takes a long time to actually look inwards and think about how to get to that level of self-awareness. So when you say being nice, we'll have a conversation about it at some point, but there's a lot of information in there. Like, being nice is a loaded term. Like, being nice in which way?
How are you being nice? It's broad.
So actually I had
how are you? Which signs are you throwing out there?
We'll table that. Like, just buy me a coffee, although I don't drink coffee. Buy me a coffee and we'll cut away.
A woman was counseling another woman, and she said, listen, young lady, until you hear it from him saying, I like you, I'm interested in you,
stop assuming
let's
things.
Do not assume anything.
I told Jesse a few
men
minutes
can
ago.
be nice people.
So I'm the worst to ask about this because
A nice person.
no, I'm not the relationship guru.
And you're not a nice person.
No, I'm not. I didn't say anything about that, but
No,
I'm
you
just saying.
You just said it indirectly. I'm not
He's
a
already
nice
throwing.
person.
He's already throwing mixed signals.
No, I'm
you know.
just saying. I'm saying. I can help people get to like a certain level of understanding
Have
of
you
their
ever been
personalities.
in that situation that Jess is saying? Like, you have been nice to someone, just being nice.
Just being
and
nice.
then for them, they misread the signs.
You guys do realize I have the right to remain silent.
No, I can clearly see you
No, we know the
running
answer.
away from this.
We
Like,
know
you
the
No
answer.
comment.
Okay.
So today we want to talk about temperament and personality. And Nasa, you tend to want to believe that most of the time we misconstruct these two statements.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the segments we've been creating over the months since the time we started, I've always been pushing people to actually know more about themselves before they go out there interacting with people and doing all sorts of...
Before they make assumptions.
Exactly. So I always keep talking about self-assessment. I always keep talking about self-awareness, but self-awareness is much deeper, right? So we talked about personalities, we talked about introverts, extroverts, and stuff like that. But today we are talking about temperament. So there's the confusion between the two terminologies. People think temperament is personality, but they're not one and the same. They're always used in the place of another. But today we'll get into what temperament is. It's a big part of self-awareness, right? So while personality is a much broader term, bigger, you could even say temperament is part of your personality, but temperament is innate, it's genetic. Personalities can change. You'll change your personality over the years as you go on aging, as you go on experiencing the world, as you get in, like, for instance, you see Trump as an example. He had like a, what do they call them? An epiphany. So now his personality has changed. But it doesn't mean his temperament has changed. He's still the same guy. So today we are jumping into temperament. So why I'm bringing this up is that...
So temperament is the one that doesn't change?
No, it's innate. It's genetic.
Okay.
So while the dictionary definition of temperament is a person's nature shown in how they behave and interact and react to people and situations, that's limited. Temperament is much bigger than that. Your temperament includes your behavior and personality traits. It's your natural propensity towards like things like daily interactions. It even determines the way your mind works. But temperament is innate. Your personality can change, but your temperament, you always revert back to stock. That's your temperament.
I would quickly want to think, when you say temperament, is how maybe somebody would react to situations. So you could tell somebody's temperament by way of how they react to
and people
to
react to people, situations, and things like that on a daily. Yeah.
And then...
So that's temperament. That's who you are. That's not the inner you that doesn't change, right?
Yeah, because personality can be changed. Personality can be faked. People these days have two personalities. They have like the public personas.
They even have like 20 personalities.
And then the private personas. And each personality has like an accent, like a different accent.
Yes. And each accent changes to...
Yeah, you find like when they're with their spouse, they're demure.
You know.
Guys, why are you making me laugh so loud like this?
Okay, so let me just give you a little bit of like the temperament versus personality, right?
Okay.
Although both terms are similar and often used interchangeably, they are distinct from each other, right? Temperament isn't the same as your personality. I'll give you an example. Personality is a broader term. It's like basically the unique behaviors, traits, emotions typically of how you behave, your behavior traits and everything together. In a way, you could say that in your personality, your temperament is in there. It's one of the things you have in there. But today we are talking about temperament.
Yeah, I think it would be better if we catch an example, and I'm going to be case study.
Yeah, but we get to the example after defining.
First, wait.
Yeah.
Case study of temperament.
No. One will start with my personality.
No. We'll go with your temperament because we're talking about temperament.
I'd like to think if Nasa understands your temperament.
No, we'll go with temperament because now I'm going to define them, right? There are only 4 the scientists have ever come up with. And you shouldn't interrupt as I do the 4, then we'll decide which one Jesse is. So the first one is called sanguine, right? There are people who are sanguine. These people are defined typically as extroverted, sociable. You'll find them in the middle of a crowd than on the rails. They're very, very outgoing. They're basically the type of people that are very, very experimental. They only have one disadvantage. They're very impulsive and indecisive. Like what I mean by that is that if the group says, let's do this, they'll go with the group because they always want to be part of something like that's a bit like nice, and they're the kind of people that are driven. You will ask them, did you actually want to go there? They'll be like, no, but it seemed like fun. They have FOMO, fear of missing out. That's the first one. They're sanguine. Then there's the second one.
Don't speak.
Oh, yeah.
Then there's the second one. They are called choleric, like cholera. I don't know if they named it based on cholera, but it's choleric. Now, the choleric people are dormant, assertive. They are very, very goal-oriented and driven. They're high achievers. They're very, very pushy, But unlike sanguine people, choleric people are decisive, but their disadvantage is that they can be impatient and stubborn. They would prioritize achieving a goal over having good relationships with people. These guys will get it done at all costs. They're not the kind of people you like very much. Like they want to get it done. Like they want to show that they are like better than everyone else. But that's not the disadvantage. They're just very goal-oriented. They're also nice to have on a team. Like you send them out there and they'll get things done at all costs, regardless. Then there's the third one. They are called phlegmatic. Phlegmatic people are laid back, very, very laid back. You could think that phlegmatic people show no emotion, They're very easygoing, very empathetic. They don't usually get into conversations they don't like violence, they don't like arguments and whatever, but they're very reliable. Phlegmatic people are reliable because they are patient, they are dependable, but then they don't show any emotion. Like they're the kind of guys when you're in a group of people and everyone is arguing about a side, like I'm on this side, you're on that side, right? I argue for these people, and phlegmatic people will tell you, I'm not getting involved.
They're neutral.
Yeah, and they're not even neutral. They know what they think, but they just won't tell you, And then there's the last one. steer clear of this one. They are called melancholic people.
Melancholic.
Yeah, melancholic. I know most of you have experienced melancholic people. Melancholic people, they are very, very, they're always, people term them as sad people, joyless, but that's not true. They just don't know how to express that they're happy. They do not know how to enjoy life. They don't know how to show.
Which we term boring.
No, they're not boring. They just don't know how to show when they're enjoying something. Like even in a situation where everyone's happy and jumping and dancing and screaming and whatever, you'll find them in the corner and they're there and you ask them, you're happy? They're like, I am very happy. I'm actually extremely happy. But you're like, your face doesn't show, you know?
So let me ask you, Nasa.
But they're very analytical. They are very methodic. They are good to have on a team as well. They're the kind of people that will always show you the negative part of every project you're going to start. They'll be like, this thing won't work because of this. This thing won't work because of that. I would want such people in an insurance company.
For some reason, I do not see myself in any of these.
No,
four
you-
categories.
Yeah,
do.
you're there.
You
You're
do.
there. You're there.
Where?
You're there.
Oh,
I think
Okay,
you're there.
case study
I just
now.
wanted to ask Nasa, is it possible that someone can actually have a bit of all those people?
Yes, they can. You can be
Yeah.
under two, in between
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I realized, I think sanguine, they call
the
it
sanguines.
sanguines, and the one that came after sanguines
Choleric.
kind of have me a bit.
Yeah, I think Jesse is more on the choleric side.
I think
Goal oriented.
Yeah.
You have to, you must.
Sacrifice
no, I'm
life
kidding.
for-
I'm just saying. I'm just saying you'll decide
But
which
it's
one you
not
want.
No,
bad.
I said case study because for Juliana, I know she is the
Sanguine.
sanguine.
But-
She's likely to visit a man who is not her husband.
which has no problem.
Yeah.
Where is it written in the books that only will visit our husbands?
Okay.
You know me, I'm open-minded, so I'm a sanguine kabisa.
I'm gonna be the phlegmatic person here and not take sides.
But is that your
But is
trait?
that who you are?
I'm phlegmatic.
No, you are not.
Yeah, I am.
I
But
think
in
you're.
real life?
I think
On
you're.
air, I'm going to be phlegmatic. For the
No,
record, let
no,
us all
let's-
take me as the phlegmatic type.
Let's be real. Now let's assume we're not on air. We are just having normal conversations. No one is listening. Who are you among those
Listen,
ones?
for me, for my message to be heard by people and not biased, right? I have to be phlegmatic. I cannot take sides. I can't start deciding which side I'm on, but I've given these ones out.
So you're the one who gives us the negative vibes always.
No,
'Cause you said that
no. The
you-
melancholic ones are the ones who give negative vibes. Yeah.
Yeah, I said I want to be case study, and you said I'm a choleric, right?
Yes. Like for argument's sake, let's say you're choleric. Like, are you goal oriented? Would you get it done at all costs, even at the cost of like having proper relationships with your people, like the weddings you missed?
Again, a
I'm giving
reminder.
like case studies. I mean, Jess is the one who said we should start naming names, right?
This reminder will never end. Hey,
Actually,
we're in
you
September.
might be true because yesterday they did ask me about somebody who passed on, and I remember my comment was the bitter side of my kind of work is that I've lost so many relationships because I have to keep working.
Yeah, but Jesse,
Choleric.
I've also seen Jesse on another one, which is not choleric.
Which is
where
sanguine
No, it
sometimes.
depends. If he cares about you, then he's going to be phlegmatic. He has ever been like objective in a conversation where he's
It must have been a proper bad he was in love
no,
with.
he was objective. Like he was in a conversation where we had an argument with friends and we're all arguing about stuff. And Jesse was there with a clear mind. He's like, guys, argue all your things. I'll be the one to deliberate on this.
That's why I said I think it's possible to have some personalities. Like you can have both of them.
Yes,
At least
but-
a bit of.
But
one
they're
of
never
it.
on the extreme. For example, you cannot be melancholic and sanguine at the same time. That means you need to visit like a psychologist. It means
You have a problem.
you're bipolar. Like those two are totally
They're not
like 1
connected.
minute you're happy, the next minute you can't be both at the same time.
But at least you can be cleric and you can be sanguine.
You can be on one perspective on one side and yeah.
So this thing they call mood swings.
Yeah.
It happens a lot to. Is it to women?
No,
To every human being.
No. It has nothing to do with
Pregnant
gender.
It has
Mood
nothing to do
swings?
with
It's not a gender thing,
Everyone.
Jesse.
I have met
The mood
men.
swings.
No, for that one, I'm
Guys,
going to take sides.
I'm happy you're taking this side. I have met men. I have met men like I met a guy about I think 2 weeks ago, and I've been seeing this guy frequently. But my God, he has the worst mood swings. Like he's always on his period. At some point, I asked him, "Bro, are you always on your period? What is your problem, man?"
Don't snitch.
No,
Now I'm going to be phlegmatic on that.
no,
one.
no, 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 no.
Snitches get stitches.
I am saying
You guys
mood
need not
swings
to
cut
snitch.
across. Mood swings cut across. He or she, it cuts across. There
Even
are many-
they're even they.
Okay,
Sometimes
they're
when
they.
you're they, we have they.
I forget that there is sometimes.
we have
forgive me.
non-binary. We have so many genders nowadays.
They.
So mood swings just have nothing to do with gender. So they're just types of people. It's a mindset thing.
So I wanted to know,
It's a-
does mood swing, can we relate it to temperaments?
No, really, because the mood swing thing comes from like the chemical composition of your body. Sometimes, the body is about hormones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And hormones are chemical compositions of your mind on how, like dopamine, for example, gives you happiness, and testosterone gives you a lot of energy, and progesterone, so many other things. You know what I mean? So mood swings come from like some sort of chemical composition, some imbalance that you're having, and then you get to swing from one point to another instantly, or you don't even know what's happening to you at the time, and this is something else. But temperament holds all the time. Actually, the only thing that can affect your temperament is your childhood, your upbringing. For instance, people who tend to come from an abusive childhood will end up having a temperament that's melancholic, even though initially they were supposed to be something else.
Even when they're supposed to be sanguines. I think
Yes.
for me, those are like probably the best characters ever.
Yes, like
The
be
sanguines?
outgoing. Yeah, the sanguines.
yeah, no, there's no. I've given you advantages of all. Like sanguine people are like
the
easygoing.
undecisiveness is not me.
No,
though.
sanguine people are good to interact with. They're good, like depending on where you put them, they can make things nice. But they're not good as leaders because they're indecisive. They're easily pushed by what other people think or feel of them. That's the disadvantage side. Now the phlegmatic type, they're very pushy. They're good as leaders, but they're not good as people to be put. You cannot nominate like a phlegmatic person as the people and culture guy. That company is going to lose a lot of employees. Then we have the phlegmatic. They're probably going to be like neutral, but also phlegmatic people might be dependable, but they also fall in the direction of sanguine people because a phlegmatic person may not take
Make a
sides,
decision,
but they're also indecisive. Then the melancholic type, they may be known to be sad, but they're very reliable when it comes to analyzing things. If you want someone who digs deep, like just say if you like relationship advice, talk to what do they call him, a melancholic person. They'll look at you and give you all the reasons why it will not work out between you and her or him if you're into hims, or they if you're into they,
Okay.
depending on what
sir,
you're
none
into.
of us is into the.
Now you never know.
No, you never
We
know. Like
can't
these
be
days, people are
conclusive.
into
Really,
things.
guys?
Yeah, you can be into him and they, or
And for some
her.
reason, NASA likes forcing they on us. Every time he's here, he keeps reminding
No, but
us.
they exist. They are there. They are
Okay.
they. They
Okay,
exist.
fine.
Okay, you can use this to understand who can be a better leader. You can understand a better colleague, right? Depending on their traits. But can you use this as a measure for who can be a better lover?
I mean, you love who you love, but I would steer clear of melancholic people in relationships because that means you have a lot of work to do. You have to take them to see. You have to dig deeper to get to the point where they became melancholic. What happened? And sometimes people don't just open up like that.
Does that
And there's
depend
always a
on
reason.
your trait as a person? Or
Even
does it
you,
cut
if you're a
across?
melancholic person, do some work on yourself before you come here stressing Juliana that she's out there partying. No. Do some
Indeed,
work.
she's always out there partying.
Yeah, but
Make
it's a good
research on
thing.
yourself.
Yeah, make a
You're
research.
melancholic.
Carry out your research. Implement a
Why
research.
are you
You
melancholic?
see, just like the question you asked earlier on, like you're being nice to a person and then they misconstrue it for something else and whatever. I mean, try to be demure about it.
Not manure. Oh wow!
Honestly, I don't know.
I always look forward to Mondays. By the way, for you to
I
come here,
cannot.
I know. I always look forward.
Just these days, demure is the thing, Like even when you're chasing a thief in your neighborhood,
You're
you're
being
demure
demure.
about it. Like he stole my phone.
You're just
like,
being mindful. Eh?
yeah, be mindful about it.
So,
Don't
you know,
scream for us.
We have concluded that you've seen the story that was trending that men cannot be demure. Men will be manure. Please help us.
No,
Don't
I
be.
don't know what demure means, but
None of
from
those is
what
very
I've picked,
connected.
it's something to do with being.
Fancy,
They use the word cutesy, the Gen Zs.
cutesy, and mindful.
Yeah, some people are Jesse is
Very
demure
mindful.
sometimes, he's
Is he?
mindful. Yeah,
I don't think so.
he is.
To who?
It depends. You're just maybe when
Bro,
you're not his cup of tea, maybe.
I know.
Yeah.
Bro, are you always demure? Yeah,
Always.
sometimes. Always.
Always.
Yeah,
Really?
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Always,
Only
really.
that I have to deal with manure, those, so I get lost in the in between.
So now what's manure? Are you guys talking about like
That's our version.
the one in the garden, right?
Like there was a guy who said, guys, let's be very clear. It was actually on TikTok. The guy said, let's be very clear. We cannot be like women. Women are saying being demure, being cutesy. You cannot use the same caption. Let's be men and say we're being manure and being.
Oh,
So yeah, you get what
so
it is.
I know I'm going to sound like the most uncool person, but what's TikTok?
Oh my God! Clearly, you're uncool.
Okay,
You-
TikTok. I see people send me links to check out something on TikTok.
So you don't have a TikTok account?
every
Oh, the
time I
video
click it-
platform
Wait,
that
wait, you
says
also don't have
like
a
Every
TikTok
time I
account.
click on
okay.
it, I do
Okay,
not.
Nasa,
I don't find it.
Nasa and Jesse, please shut up, you guys.
So guys, that's
seriously,
TikTok.
like
That's TikTok. We
Why
saw-
am I not on
you
TikTok?
are
saw
just being
demure.
demure and manure for
So
nothing this morning.
I had. So the reason why the reason why I got scared of TikTok is because I was told you could literally take your phone to the bathroom and get paralyzed while on TikTok, like watching videos. Is
Like you
it that good?
No, like you can also get paralyzed when you're on your Instagram. You know, like when you're going through the reels. Like
No.
a phone is a phone.
No, the
You
people
can
I
get
follow,
addicted.
you can't get paralyzed.
Who do you follow? You
Your
follow
blood moves when you look
you-
at their pictures.
Ew. Okay, you're going to tell me you
They're
follow.
demure.
What's the other guy? Trevor Noah. You would get stuck.
Ronnie Coleman, David Goggins,
What's that guy called?
Donald Trump.
Please. What is there? to
Now I'm
watch on
following
Donald?
Kamala as well. Kamala is also cool. Like
Kamala is actually
she's
cool.
demure. Yeah.
she's very demure. You would actually want to follow her reels and so on, and also her TikTok. She is on TikTok. How interesting is that?
So I'm not on TikTok, guys. I'm gonna join TikTok.
Please join
Can I
TikTok.
follow
It's
you?
just for fun. Yeah, follow me.
Okay.
I'm equally new on TikTok. I
Do-
had
Send me
do you
avoided.
post- have you posted anything on TikTok?
Yeah, the conversation here.
Oh, the conversation on the radio.
But also, it's
Please,
because
if you
I'm
post
brand new on
workouts-
What's your
TikTok.
handle?
Juliana, like seriously.
just-
If you
Juliana.
post your workouts, you and I are done.
We are going to start. I haven't started working out, but when I start working out, bro, you
You're going
won't
to
be
post
ready.
all your workouts?
Trust
So
me.
just when you join TikTok, post when you're being nice to that person, so we can have more content.
Yeah, I am already.
I'm waiting for Nasa to post his six pack
360, I'm a
on
nice
TikTok
guy.
I
after his.
swear to God, like that's the one thing. Trust me, people with abs are not happy. They eat veggies. They like seriously, they eat veggies.
They're living a miserable life.
They're on a calorie deficit. When they go and sit at a pool and no one is looking at them, they're not.
No, do you know what it means? No one. They can't sit on a pool and no one looks at them.
I mean,
they
they
may
sit
be.
there being demure and no one is.
My friend, we actually admire those abs.
I need to
I'm
stop
being
using the
honest.
word demure. I don't
Listen.
even know.
I know. I don't know why
NASA.
you're being so demure this morning.
NASA, I just want to query, given your character, you know, and your traits, your temperament, I was shocked not to see you at the Silver Gala.
Quite interesting. That was good stuff. I saw some good stuff there.
So I had an invitation which I didn't show up, and I for some reason or the other. But then NASA was at an event the night before.
Yeah, and I
Someone
didn't
was launching an album.
I didn't have an outfit, so my colleague Christiane was launching an album. She's had many shows over the years, but this is by far one of the biggest. And I noticed she's also very talented on stage. It was everything we expected. But then she wasn't alone. She had some other colleagues of hers, Aline Sano and all the other guys. Those guys are very talented. Good
Super
stuff.
talented.
Those are
Aline
very
Sam is
talented
super-
people.
Yes.
It was at
absolutely.
the Nosken, something called Jikundiro.
Yes.
So I was on that one before, and then I had to go for a boxing class the day. But also, let me cut it short. I wasn't invited.
But I mean, it wasn't about the invitation. You would have bought a
The
ticket.
silver, I wasn't invited.
You would have bought
It's
a
as
ticket
simple
if
as
you
that.
wanted.
I wasn't invited.
It was buying a ticket was 120.
For obvious reasons. Number one, I don't have Instagram followers. I'm not on TikTok.
You're not demure, just
I'm just those people you pass on. Like I've met people in restaurants and they're like, I know you, but they've never seen my face, but the voice sounds familiar. And I'm like, bro, it's just your mind playing tricks on you. If you listen to radio in the morning, there's a guy who sounds like me on radio, but it's not me.
NASA Mondays are very interesting when you come through.
Last question before we get into the news. After becoming aware of your temperament, how do you use it?
You just know that if, for example, if you're melancholic, you'll be very mindful of trying not to get sad. Don't watch love movies when you're melancholic. You'll just be crying all the time. don't go to all the parties when you're like the sanguine type. You'll be pushed around all the time. You'll be
So for
jumped.
example, why are you showing
And
me
just
that
say if you're phlegmatic or if you're choleric, or if you're phlegmatic, try to show some, at times take a side. Also, if you're choleric, go easy. Like you don't have to win every argument, you know? You don't have to win every argument. Like you know those conversations which you get into and you say, I've won the argument, you know, Kamala will make a better president because she's don't.
Just sometimes
Be mindful.
Be mindful. Like it's self-awareness. You know yourself. You know, me, I'm phlegmatic, I'm going to fight.
I think this is also very important. I like to speak in the space of those who have found love. When you understand your personality, you stress your partner the less, you know, because you are mindful.
But Jesse, why don't we leave partners
Oh my
alone?
But Nasa, this is the language of the life we're living in today. The language of the world today is love,
Guys,
and we cannot run away from
love,
these things. These are
love.
things that are happening in
You
our
know
faces
what?
on a daily basis.
On the next Monday, let's talk about love.
Yeah,
Because you
I
guys,
agree with you.
Not relationships, not partners.
just talk about love.
Love.
I'm going to do some content on love.
I am so into it. I am looking
I'm
forward.
bringing you love content, guys.
Let me tell you,
Since
the
you-
pulse of life centers around the love we receive and the love we do not receive.
You'd be disappointed with my content when I bring it because love is so much more than that.
Monday, we have a date.
Cool.